Hi everyone, so it's Sunday morning in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and it's raining. So I'm gonna make this real quick and sweet because my husband's downstairs waiting to get fed some breakfast scramble. So we're gonna get right to it. But while we're in the kitchen, take a look-see at my finished backsplash, well, almost finished backsplash, and give Brian some kudos for whipping that out for me. I think it looks beautiful. He just has to finish up a few things like the electrical outlets and such. So after I eat this big old breakfast scramble that I'm about ready to make for you, I think I'll be spending the day weeding, since that's the best time to weed is after it rains. So let's get to the kitchen. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is put some water in the skillet. I'm using just about a quarter cup, and I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of no chicken vegetable broth to that and start getting that heated. That's gonna saute our ingredients today. Okay, so while that's getting hot, I'm gonna prepare my vegetables. What I already did was I microwaved 2 potatoes and then peeled them. And then I have half of a Vidalia onion that I'm chopping. And I have 1 Roma tomato. They're really just a nicer, beefier texture for throwing into cooked items, so that's why I like the Roma. So our breakfast scramble is made ideally out of a soft tofu and a hard tofu. So normally I would be using a hard tofu crumbled up, a half a package of a hard tofu crumbled up in a bowl with a half a package of soft tofu crumbled in the bowl. However, Thank You Kalamazoo is very unreliable in their stores with their tofu product unless I go across town to a health food store. So I have 1 hard tofu here to use. So the reason I like to mix the soft tofu and the hard tofu is it just gives more of a realistic texture for real scrambled eggs. So that's why I like having half and half. But today we're just going to use this, and you'll still see that it's still going to come out great. So this is what I remember ordering quite often at restaurants as like a farmer's scramble, similar to that. Anyway. So you don't have to cook your potatoes ahead of time. And if you want to make even a faster shortcut, I have done this before where I've bought a bag of O'Brien potatoes where they have onions, green pepper, and potato already in a bag frozen. You heat those up in a skillet and then you can add your other ingredients and finish it up. So that's kind of a nice option as well. So we're going to add all of these ingredients to the pan. So I'm cooking this on medium-high. The idea is to cook the onions down soft. So in today's scramble, I'm going to add my little sausage patties that I made from my other video. If you've seen my meatball sub video, you'll see that with the extra meat, what I did was make little sausage patties for us to eat on the weekends. Okay, not sausage patties, but patties that mimic that sausage bite with flavor. Okay, so we're going to add this to the cooking mixture. Oops. Okay. As you can see, the water that I used to start it off with has already pretty much cooked out. So at this point, I'm just going to add a splash of coconut milk. The amount of coconut milk I added was probably less than 3 tablespoons. Okay, so this is the mixture we have. Now we're going to start adding all of our added flavor. So the most important ingredient to mimic that taste of egg is going to be black salt. So we're putting 1 teaspoon of black salt in here, a half a teaspoon of turmeric, a tablespoon of garlic, a quarter of a teaspoon of red cayenne pepper, a can of diced chilies, and nutritional yeast. And that's a quarter cup of nutritional yeast. You're going to be surprised as I mix this up and continue cooking it, how much it takes on a visual look of scrambled eggs. The turmeric not only gives it some flavor, but it actually helps give it that yellow color to mimic egg. Until I made this for my husband, he didn't think he could ever give up eggs, and now he loves this breakfast. This will be our weekly go-to. I am getting so hungry just looking at this. I'm gonna add a little fresh ground pepper. So as you can see, this makes enough to feed 2 very hungry people, or you could get 3 or 4 servings out of this, serving it with some toast. Okay, so I had to eat breakfast with my husband since it's Sunday, so forgive me for not eating on camera, but it was definitely another party for my taste buds. And those of you that haven't used tofu very much in your cooking, or you don't think you like tofu, I was one of those people. I did not think I liked tofu before, but it was because of how I was cooking it or not using it correctly. Tofu is kind of like a baked potato. Unless you put something on it, there's not much flavor to it, but it can create so many wonderful dishes if you season it up correctly or you cook it correctly. So there are lots of different ways to use tofu in your diet and adding a lot of plant-based protein. So I hope you enjoy this breakfast scramble, just one way to use tofu.